For anyone who might not have known, PalWorld 1.0 just recently came out, and with it, a swarm of new pals. So you might think, okay, you're doing a 100-day style video like other PalWorld creators have, so you can explore everything. Nope, we're doing fire only. It's a monotype run. As far as world settings go, very simple. I just turned down the meteor supply drop interval down to 60 minutes instead of 180 minutes. I was going to change the egg incubation time, but I decided to leave that at 1 just because since I'm actually using pals in this one, I'll probably use pal eggs and I don't want to make it too easy on myself, even though fire only is going to have its own challenges, but that's a later problem. Also, if you care, here's what my character looks like. I tried to make her look like Storm from the X-Men because I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals as of late, so that's what I was going for. I think I did an okay job. Hey, pro tip if you're new to PalWorld and just now playing after 1.0, turn around and go into this area behind you when you first spawn in. Over here you will find both a chest and a diary. All the time. The chest can be different and sometimes might be a chest that requires a key, but you can usually still get something good out of it. If you watched my last video, the Fallout 4 video, you know that I've already stated that I want to start explaining the different things in games that I play, such as the story, for people who are new and might not know any of that stuff. Of course, in PalWorld, originally there wasn't much of a story to explain, but now there is. There's an actual story. They have the quest up in the corner. So I'm going to explain the story, at least all the relevant bits to it. A lot of stuff that I do isn't relevant in PalWorld because it's mostly just walking around. PalWorld is a lot of walking around and capturing pals. Also, just like the last time I played PalWorld, I will only mention unique pals. If I caught it before, I will not mention catching it again. The early game is pretty much the exact same as it is every time you play PalWorld. You go talk to this lady. Now there is a more in-game way that she does things. You give her the little device that you have, and she actually goes in and adds the survival guide to it. I didn't check to see if you already have the survival guide before she does this, but this is the in-game way that you get the survival guide, and I think that's pretty neat. After talking to her, I did the usual where I ran around and get the basic starting gear that you need to play the game. If you're new to PalWorld and are just starting out with 1.0, you're probably going to hear me say that exact phrase a few times here, but I like to give tips to people who might be new, so that's just how I am. Just follow the quest in the corner, they'll help you out. That's pretty much all you have to do. Now it's time for us to get our first pal of the run, Foxmarks. Foxmarks is a pretty good early game pal, both combat-wise and base management-wise. He's good at the base, obviously, because fire, you need that for smelting and a bunch of other stuff. But he's good in combat because fire, he sets things on fire. Fire pals are very good at combat. Promise this entire video will not just be me gushing about the new 1.0 stuff. I do promise. However, I would like to say something about the new 1.0 stuff. I haven't seen many people talk about it. I guess it's not that big of a deal to a lot of people. It was a little weird to me, but I don't care. So, capture bonuses are how you level up the most in PalWorld. You get capture bonuses for capturing multiple of a certain pal. It used to be 12. You capture 12 pals, and that's how many capture bonuses you get. However, now it's only 5. It's hard to tell because I never really paid attention to the amount of XP, but it seems like for capturing the 5 pals, you get just as much or maybe even more XP than you would have for originally capturing the 12 pals. Just something I noticed and wanted to mention. After running around for a little bit, I decided that this is where I was going to put my base set, despite the, let's say, uncomfortable amount of rush ore in the area. Of course, I had to fight for the area after I placed down the PAL box and accidentally aggroed all of the rush ore. It's not really an accident, I shot first. Just like Han Solo. Afterwards, I just did some basic base setup. The only PAL I can think of that I really want to get in the right now is Arsox, but the only Arsox I know of is the level 15 Arsox that replaced the old Bushi boss fight. I'm not quite sure if I'm able to take that thing on at this point, so that'll have to come later. But for the time being, I need to go capture other pals and expand the amount that I have in my base. I don't normally put this much effort into my house, but I kind of wanted it to look nice for you guys. So I tried to do this thing where I put it up on stilts to kind of make it look like I was higher up and looking over all the pals and the rest of the base. I think it came out nice. We go to the Desolate Church, at least I believe that is what this one is called, and we come across Tansy Ignis, the fire version of the regular Tansy. Fortunately, this one cannot plant like its grass brother can. However, there is a fire pal, 4 of them in fact, with the watering work attribute, and one with the cooling work attribute, because it's a dual type of both fire and ice. But God forbid we have one that can do some planting, right, Pocket Pear? You know, a few things make this death far more painful than it has really any right being. One of those things is I forgot to get the waypoint. The second thing is the spear I threw right at the end still did nothing because Tansy didn't even shake once before it got out. So, yeah, just terrible all over. So now I have to walk all the way back there to get my stuff. Thankfully, my base is actually like right by the place, so it won't be hard to get to, but I'm still annoyed by it. I go back, get my things, actually activate the waypoint, find Ruby, who is what I was looking for at first, and then I caught Ruby. I caught a couple rubies. Here's the thing though. Ruby is Foxsparks are basically the same pal. Except Foxsparks seems more geared towards combat and Ruby towards working on the base. Maybe it's just confirmation bias, but every time I get a Ruby and actually check its work score, it always has a higher one than Foxsparks. But Foxsparks always has a higher damage and attack than the Rubies I get if they're at the same level. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just the way it seems to me. So there it is. Doing some running around to get to the next area that I'm trying to get to. I come across these syndicate guys who are fighting one of the new pals, or at least I believe to be one of the new pals. And while they're distracted, I come over here and snatch this stuff, getting some Giga Spears out of the bargain. I also come across one of the new pals. It is adorable. I cannot wait until the water only run. Actually, yes, I can, because that sounds completely and utterly awful to actually do. Good old Arsox, one of the best early game fire pals that you can possibly get. It's also rideable, which is good since I won't have a mount other than Arsox until I unlock Van Worm much later. So he'll be good to have around regardless. He also leveled me up and gave me so much XP that I was only like less than 100 XP away from another level up. At this point in the video, you're probably realizing I haven't really done much in terms of progressing the story. Well, I was kind of worried. I knew I'd be able to still do all the stuff, but I was kind of worried I wouldn't be able to really get into the story because of the quest that makes you need to catch some land balls. Thankfully, if you just go talk to the Elder, which is what it sends you to go do after the land balls, it just skips over the land balls entirely. You don't need to do anything, which is great. Anyway, we go and speak to the Elder, who tells us about the tower. He says that if we want to find out more about this island and understand everything, we'll likely need to go to the World Tree. He also tells us that the person to ask will be the boss of the Rain Syndicate, a armed group of thugs that patrol around the Palpagos Islands. However, the boss has been missing. His daughter, however, has taken over the nearby tower and is using it as a base of operations for the Rain Syndicate, and that we should go there and talk to her. After we're done with that, we go back to base where we upgrade our workstations. I get the high quality workbench instead of the primitive one, which is not actually what it's called. I just call it that. And then I replace all of the other workbenches, such as the repair bench and the pal gear bench. Something I noticed while running to the next boss fight is that our bow, the old bow, is the same type of bow, at least I think it is, the same type of bow that Odysseus would have used. I wonder if our PalWorld character can shoot through 12 axes cleanly. Alright Bushy, I hope you're ready for the smackdown of your life, my boy. I'm taking you out. I just wanted to point this out because it made me laugh because it's like a screwed up boot shape. It looks like a screwed up Louisiana. Like if you absolutely mangled Louisiana, this is what it would look like in my opinion. I thought it was funny. I wanted to bring it up. That's all. Well, after all that, I wanted some more Arsox, and well, I went to where the Arsox are supposed to be, and then realized Arsoc's, the PAL boss, is kind of weak, kind of low level compared to its brothers and sisters out here. Because I don't know what broke this thing's AI, by the way, but it almost killed me multiple times for the AI to have been broken for most of the fight. It's a little disheartening how lopsided this fight was. Don't get me wrong, I still caught it. It almost killed me, but I still caught it. After that, I went and made some pelt armor. That way, I'd have more protection whenever it would be time for us to go fight Zoe and Grisbolt. Also, I want to mention this. I don't know if this is a glitch or what, but the watchtowers that you can activate to unlock a portion of the map in See More, for some reason, it goes away when you reload the world. I don't know if that's a glitch, if that's a feature. I haven't seen anyone talking about it. Also, it could be exclusive to PS5. I'm not entirely sure, but I've noticed it not only on this world, but other worlds as well, and I'm wondering if anybody knows any potential fixes for this. I next made a crossbow, and this gives me everything I normally like to have for my fights with Zoe and Grisbolt. While I was here, I also made this little feather headband thing. I had never made it before, so I thought, why not? I'll make it, put it on. It looks okay, I guess. Nothing really wrong with it. Doesn't add much protection, but it's there. With all of that said and done, it's now time for us to travel to the Rain Syndicate Tower and see what secrets we can uncover from speaking with the boss of the syndicate. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, she did not seem interested in talking, so a fight broke out instead. Despite a few close calls, there wasn't much that me and my pals together could not handle, and we eventually did defeat her. After defeating her, we found a strange-looking PAL spear that we couldn't quite comprehend, so we decided to go back to the village chief to see if he knew anything. The village chief seemed somewhat surprised that we ended up fighting Zoe instead of simply talking to her, and was a bit dismayed with the fact that we took the odd-looking PAL spear. He informed us that we should give her time to cool off and then go ask her about it, since she would likely know more than he. After listening to everything he had to say, we decided he was right and that we should wait to talk to Zoe, at least for a little bit, maybe next time. However, in the meantime, I feel like this little spear we found has a lot more to it than just being odd looking. Hello everyone, and thank you for coming this far into the video. I'm so glad you watched this far in, and I hope you enjoyed the entire thing. I'd also like y'all to give me some feedback on like the type of style that I use for the narrative, where I told all the regular bits in like my normal voice, and then all the story stuff was in this kind of exaggerated DM voice that you would use for like D&D and that I use for D&D. So I'd like some feedback on that. Other than that, thanks for watching. Make sure to drink enough water and have a good rest of your day.